Well, hey there, friends. Welcome to the downstairs kitchen. This is Angela, the Inquisitive Farm Wife. And if you are new here, you're in for a great show. You never know what I'm going to do here on the Inquisitive Farm Wife because I'm a curious person by nature, and you never know what I'm going to bring you along and what journey we're going to be on next. Today, I'm going to be making sugar cookies. I've been promising you all this recipe for quite some time, and I have an abundance of my most beautiful prized baking goods, duck eggs. So today I'm also participating in the Every Bit Counts challenge that Jessica over at Three Rivers is hosting. And this is going to be a way to preserve eggs for future use. But that isn't the only reason I'm doing this. It's several things I actually have an abundance of. So I get my flour and I put it in these large these large tubs that I bought at a restaurant supply store. It's no longer even open, but anyway, I have this and I have them on roller casters and I have them underneath my kneading station here. And I get the big huge bags at Sam's Club of my flour, and I kept purchasing all-purpose flour over and over again. And I didn't need the all-purpose flour. I wanted the bread flour, the kind that you use for pizza crust and things like that. And I kept thinking I needed the opposite. You know how that goes. So I thought, okay, my favorite thing to do with the duck eggs and the excess of flour is to make my sugar cookies. In the fall and the winter, we usually start baking a lot more. And if you're like me and you like to go to craft shows and fairs and festivals and pumpkin patches and all these things where you can sell some of your homemade goods, then you know that sugar cookies are just really fun to do and to bring with you on those things. And that is one of the things that I offer only in the fall. So I thought I'd get a head start on this today and finally share my sugar cookie recipe with all of you. I do also have a lot of butter. So originally when I was doing this, I was thinking I was going to use my homemade butter, which I do a lot of times. But then I kind of decided there is another baking project that I'm wanting to experiment with. And I think I want to save my homemade butter for that. So I went ahead and we're going to go ahead and use the store-bought butter today. But typically when I make this, you'll see me using it with my homemade butter from the cow's milk that I milk myself every single morning. Well, no more talking. Let's get to working. So now that you are on the counter with me, I will briefly show you my sugar cookie recipe that I've altered. And this will make, let's see, easily probably 3 to 4 dozen regular cookies, we'll say. And I'm actually going to double this. So what I do today will be double what the recipe calls for. First thing I want to do is go ahead and plug in my Bosch. I love my Bosch for all my baking needs. My Bosch is for bread making and for cookie making. Okay, so I'm going to need to grab my metal drive for this today, and I'm going to go ahead and pop in my cookie paddles. And in addition to that, I'm going to add on top of this the bowl scraper. I absolutely love having these additions to my baking arsenal. Snap that in. If I remember right, these only go in one way. Yep. So I don't have to really think too much about what I'm doing. There we go. I'll line this right up. Make sure that's clicked in. Give it a quick whir. Yep, we're good to go. So the first thing I like to do is go ahead and get my sugar and my butter and cream them together. So the original recipe that I have calls for 1 cup of butter, which is 2 sticks. So if you get the big bulk like I do, 1 cup would be half of this, but we're going to double this, and I'm going to use the whole 1 pound block of butter. Just to kind of make this a little easier on myself, I do go ahead and cut this up into some smaller cubes. Just makes it a little bit easier. Now, all of these ingredients I set out early this morning. I got up about 5 o'clock and washed eggs and gathered ingredients and started out by that. So my butter is definitely at room temperature. It's nice and soft. Of course, my hands, they're good and clean. So I'm just going to separate this out. Plop that butter right down in there. Fun little tip for you, save these, put them in a Ziploc bag, use them to grease your pans at a future project, like maybe a casserole. After giving my hands another quick rinse, I'll start in with the sugar. Recipe calls for 1 cup, so I'm going to be using 2 cups. But first, let me show you, let's see, here's the butter in there. I'm going to add the granulated sugar next. My big old tub. This is just 1/3 of a cup. So I'm going to have to do this 6 times. Powdered sugar. Now, yes, if you want, you can make your own, but I have found that when I am using such a large amount, it is just as cost effective and a time saver for myself when I'm in a hurry to use the already purchased powdered sugar. But it does also have cornstarch in it, which if you've baked with corn syrup, it will actually, adding a little cornstarch, let me start again. This is powder, this is sugar and cornstarch, and that's it. So adding a little cornstarch in with your powdered sugar when you make it will help it stay separated. And it also does a little something extra to your cookies if you didn't already know. So if you make your own, put a little cornstarch in it. If not, just buy it. So I'll need 2 cups of this. So I need, this is 1/4 of a cup, so I'll need 8. And then I'm just going to go ahead and grab my lid. I'm going to put this on, and I'm just going to kind of cream this. So let me bring you in closer and I'll show you what that means. Okay, so all that is incorporating your sugar and your butter together. That is called creaming your butter and sugar. Now I need to go ahead and add in some Crisco. You know what? We could have done that part before we creamed it with the butter. That wouldn't have hurt a thing. And I typically will do that, and I honestly kind of forgot about the Crisco. So it's just an all vegetable shortening. And the recipe that I have calls for a cup, so we'll be putting in 2 cups. I love this. This is a Pampered Chef thing. I think you can get these pretty readily. It's so nice because they are clear and you can see if you have any air pockets or any bubbles in there. So I can kind of push it out, and then I could just chop it up to kind of make it smaller like I did the butter. Again. I think I'll go ahead and cream this in there. That looks a little bit more like what I'm used to. Next, I want to add my eggs. These eggs I have found in my spare refrigerator. So I just want to make sure that they're not old or that we don't have any problems. So I'm going to take the time and I'm going to crack them open, give them a sniff, and make sure that they are okay. Because I have found that duck eggs sometimes will go bad quicker than chicken eggs. That's just my own personal experience. And I need 2 per recipe. We're doubling. So again, I'll need 4. So there's my 4 eggs. My butter is unsalted, so I'm going to go ahead and add a half a teaspoon. I would say a fourth of a teaspoon to your batch. Just because I'm using the unsalted butter. And then I need cream of tartar and baking soda. And it calls for a teaspoon of each. Remember, we're doubling, so it'll be, I will adjust this up to the 2 teaspoon, which it's already there because that's really what I use my cream of tartar for mostly. So we've got cream of tartar and our baking soda. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add in our vanilla at this point too. It calls for a teaspoon. Doubling makes 2 teaspoons. Yeah, no, I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons. I love vanilla, and it's my homemade vanilla. It is the best. Put our little hat back on. Give that a whir. Isn't that beautiful? Those egg yolks just make it so yellow and bright and vibrant. Oh, it's starting to smell so good already. The last ingredient we need to add is just our flour. And my recipe calls for 4.5 cups. So we'll be adding 9 cups of flour. Now you know why I go through a large amount. So yes, I'm going to put all 9 cups in right now because I know my machine can handle it. And there we have it, our 9 cups. I want to kind of wipe off that top, push everything down to the sides a little bit just to make sure it gets incorporated a little bit better because this is a lot. It is, as you can see, it is full. And we're going to snap this back on. Make sure it clicks in. Start on 1. You'll kind of listen. It's starting to struggle. I'll move it up to 2. Then to 3. And now up to 4. And this is only going to take maybe 1 to 2 minutes. So now I have, see, we'll turn it, pull it off, and show you fluffiest, most beautiful sugar cookie dough I've ever worked with. Now we're not going to do any baking today. Today we are just prepping. We're just doing one step of the multiple steps of making sugar cookies. Today we're just making the dough. So I'm going to grab myself a 1-gallon Ziploc bag. And I am going to label, I should go get a pen so we could label this. Much better. So under contents, I'm going to put sugar, cookie, dough. And it is currently August of 2025. So here we go. Label it so we know in the freezer what we've got going on. Just like when we pipe our frosting, sometimes it helps to put it in a cup or something. This is just going to keep my bag open and upright for me because I'm just one person here today. And I'm just going to put this dough, this soft, luscious dough, into my bag. Now, I would also suggest, if you don't do this very often, that you might put on there how many batches of dough it is. Like this would be a double or maybe even a quadruple batch of dough compared to what a typical recipe would be. It's probably quadruple because I think I probably doubled it to start with. And or maybe put how many, approximately how many cookies are on there, because that's what I do on my recipe. I know how many pumpkin cookies I get, how many sunflower cookies I get, how many maple leaf cookies I get. And so I have that all kind of written on there so I can know on my recipe approximately, you know, if I want to make 100 cookies, how many batches am I going to need to make. Taking some of this dough out, we can actually take this middle part out too, and it'll make it a little bit easier on us to kind of scrape it all, because you want to get every last bit of this. Because if you're like, well, today I'm going to be making another batch, so I want to make sure it's nice and clean so I have plenty of room. It doesn't have to be perfect, but also we want every bit of that cookie dough so that when we go to pull this out of the freezer, we'll be able to make the appropriate amount. And this does such a good job scraping the sides of the bowl, so I never have issues with my butter not incorporating, my cream of tartar all in one spot. I really suggest a Bosch mixer. I mean, yes, I am an affiliate, but I talked about Bosch before I was one. I still have a KitchenAid. I use it for like my frosting and my pasta making and different things. You know, every chef has their favorite tool, and I have different tools that I like for different purposes. And I'm telling you, for me, baking bread and making cookies, Bosch is my go-to gal, my go-to gadget. So now that I feel like I've kind of got that scraped up, I can just set this upside down like this, and it's not going to touch anything and make a big mess on my counter. And I'm going to be able to get in here and scrape this out so much better now. There we have it. Pull this out, and then I'm just going to kind of tap it down. And I'm going to squeeze it all the way to one corner, and then I'm going to start working the dough to this corner. And what I'm doing is I'm squeezing air out, and I'm wanting to make sure the side that I already have sealed has all the air out of it. And then I'm going to work my way back over here and seal as I press the cookie dough to the ends. And you can see there's no air in there. And I'll flatten this out so that it can set in the freezer or fridge or wherever nice and flat. Friends, we have done it. We have put out the first of many bags to go into the freezer of the sugar cookie dough. You now officially have my recipe. You can freeze this for, I believe it's like 3 or 6 months. You can put it in the fridge for at least 1 or 2 weeks and have cookie dough ready to go. I have bought myself a new toy. I don't think I'll be getting any use out of it today. I don't think so. But if I do get used to it, then I'll be bringing you along and showing you. It's nothing that is something I purchased on my own, that I'm not affiliated with anything with. And so we shall see, but I'm hoping it's going to make my sugar cookie game go much faster. But I want to tell you that to get the best sugar cookies, I have other videos where I've used this dough where I have frosted it, but you'll want to chill your dough. So this will need to go into the refrigerator at least overnight. And if you put it in the freezer, thaw it out in the refrigerator overnight and work with chilled dough. Make sure that when you cut it, you might even put it back into the refrigerator to get a nice chill. That's what's going to get your nice sharp edges. So guys, thanks so much for joining me as I was taking every little bit of my excess, finding a new use, a new purpose for it on something that I know I'll use. And I know this will work for all of you too, because there is plenty of baking ahead in the holidays to come. I mean, this should last you, I would think, through even Valentine's Day and whatever. So it's never a bad thing to have cookie dough on hand in the freezer. Friends show up, you can whip something up. I love fruit pizza. If you've never had a fruit pizza with sugar cookie dough base, you've got to try it. Guys, I could go on and on about all the things you can use your sugar cookie dough for. Oh my, pies and cookie cakes, and oh boy, so many wonderful things. So I encourage you, if you are like me and you accidentally overbought on the all-purpose flour and you have an abundance of eggs that you really didn't want to freeze dry, water glass, or anything like that, this is another fun, unique, and different way to use up some of those eggs. Bye for now, friends. We'll see you next time right here on The Inquisitive Farm Wife.